everyone. So I was shuffling and this card fell out. I haven't looked at it, but I thought, okay, I might as well just go ahead and start the reading. This is a general timeless reading. So if you feel that there are messages for you, by all means, I encourage you to listen to them. So yeah, what I'm getting right now is, gosh, I get this image they're showing me of, I used to have this little white iPod, and they're putting me like back in college, and I am like listening to music on my iPod, and I get this feeling of like the world is my oyster. There's so much ahead of me. There's so much to learn. There's so much I can accomplish. You know, it's like you feel ready to take on the world, but also really inexperienced. And it feels like any problem in the world, like there may be a solution. You can find that, right? It's like this blend of passion and compassion. And they're also the songs that I'm seeing. There's one, it's at the tip of my tongue, and it's something about wheels. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. If I remember, then I'll link it down below. They're showing Sweet Serendipity. They're showing, but this one's forward. So they're bringing me forward in time after this, which is like a star, and they're connecting this all because and then they're bringing up the word legendary, and then they're showing me like this turtle, like a big sea turtle, and then they're showing me like it is a baby, but the baby is almost like a toddler size, and kind of like even like the hair and the body is like a toddler baby, but it's represented as a like newborn baby, and how it's almost like you came into this world as a toddler already. It's kind of the way they're explaining it to me. And then even as like a turtle, like you think about like turtles, they live for so long, and they're being represented to me now as like they're showing not just turtles, but they're showing a lot of these like sea mammals, dolphins, hermit crabs, different crustaceans. They're showing this as representative alligators. I'm just showing you what they're telling you what they're showing me, but they're representatives of like at the history, like of like the beginning of time, but then beyond the beginning of this time. So they're showing it as like they have like these secret codes, and they're presenting this as like similar to you, where it's like when the sea turtle is born, it is already like light years ahead or eons ahead of us in terms of the understanding. It's not just like it's like we go through a process of forgetting, right, some of our divine truths as we grow in this world, or even as soon as we come into birth for some of us. And then they're even explaining like even some prior to birth, because then they're showing me some example of like Brian Stelter, where they're just showing and just explaining, so you see everything that I'm seeing basically. And then they're showing me a locket. Okay, they're showing me a locket, and then they're putting the turtle within the locket, and then they're putting the locket with like into your, like not into your heart, but it's like you grasping a locket as if you were wearing a locket yourself. Okay, and then as they're showing me that, then there's like these strands that are connected from your hair, and then they're bringing it down into the locket, and then it kind of turns into this like energy field. And so they're explaining all of this, of saying like even how there are some cultures who believe in like, you know, the different powers, you know, that kind of exist in the hair, and like the importance of your hair. So they're just showing me in so many different ways of like how collectively there is this understanding of this extreme depth to our spirit, or to our soul, or to like some higher light, and how this is embedded in you, but to a higher degree than some. And so they're acknowledging this for you, because it's a couple things, and I'm gonna see. Let me see here. Okay, so hold on. Okay. Actually, I should have paid attention to the other one, but that's fine because I remember it. Ooh. It's a lot of pentacle. Okay, look at that. Hi. Okay, so it's a presentation. That's what they're showing. It's just being repeated very strongly here. It's this depiction that they're presenting. They have presented, but they want to present. They have presented, but they want to present. And then they're saying, slow down and look at this tree. Slow down and look at the tree. Okay. I see you like in between something, like physically in between something. So it's like, for instance, kind of like enmesh these together. So it's like the tree in front of you, but then the sun behind you. But it's like you see like they're putting you like physically in between two things. Physically in between two things. And this is important to know because it's like okay. I'm presenting you with this offer. I'm presenting you, why do I say an offer? I don't even mean that generically. Like there's an actual offer of a disruption in what you're doing in order for you to it is revisit in some way, but it's also return. It's like revisit, but return. It just become that person that we described at the very beginning of that youthful compassion and passion towards, it's like ideas and concepts and just inventions that you felt were possible, that somewhere in the in-between you had almost got caught up with the technicality or just like some sort of detail or life, something in life like that. So there's something being presented to you. It's some sort of offer being presented to you in the physical that is going to, if you choose to take this, it's going to bring you back to that state of being. Obviously not exactly. It's like this, it's a more mature way, right? It's still the same feeling, but it's like you've now known without, or it's like you've now known the piece of forgotten. So now when you revisit this feeling, then it could be a return because it won't be a visitation, right? It's like you'll stay. Visiting implies that you'll be leaving. So it's not a revisit, it's a return. And then they connect that deeper to that, they're like the maturity is in the sense of like all of these deeper truths that you have in you. So now that you've blended, it feels like a blending of those truths. So it's almost like you were playing with those truths before of what does this really mean? And then almost like, I don't know if tempting is a word, or it's the full word that I got was like tempting fate. So it's like kind of just playing with it and seeing, like there's something about pushing it pushing it, pushing the barriers in some way, pushing how it would feel if you go and just like test it in some way. And then something happening where you back up. It's like, okay, I tested it, I see what happens here, I back up, and then boom, the offer comes in. So it's like you're in the process somehow of stepping back and being returning back into this more comfortable state of being where it feels very meditative but also magnetic and inviting. So it's like, I can kind of get this example. It's like you pick up this new hobby, or you pick up this new whatever, we'll just stick to hobby, and then you really enjoy it, but then once you get good at it and you understand the technicality with it and all of that, then you start seeing how far you can push it. Then it starts getting a little bit more dicey, and then you step back after you've kind of challenged yourself in that, and then you step back, and then now you're really in your flow state because you've experienced that pushing of the boundary and how that felt, and you got a little bit of an understanding of what that's like, and that's not somewhere you want to be. So you come back into where you were. Now you're in this flow state, and then this hobby, this offer would be like someone, I don't know, let's just say that you're a jewelry maker or something, and then someone comes in and they're like, wow, this is amazing, like work with me, you know, that kind of thing. Or like, here's my material, I can give it to you, like I want you to create this, right? I want you to be the artist behind this, right? And you're like, okay, cool, perfect, that kind of thing. That's how it feels. So see, this came out, I'm saying it came out twice because when I was shuffling it and I was like looking, see another pentacle. This is what they highlighted, this card for me, and then now it's coming out again. You see this fish? They're showing this as this is a large fish, and it's being represented as going from, it's two ways. They're showing it from the smaller cup to the bigger cup. So it's a big offer. It's a big step. This offer is going to be a big step for you from where you've been. So this feels also, because all these pentacles coming through and it being something tangible, if this resonates with you in a financial matter, then that would make a lot of sense here too, because it feels like something where it's like it's somewhere where you're at, where you're pushing the boundary. You're pushing the boundary of you're bigger than where you're at, right? So it's like, for example, with the finances, it's like I've been able to live comfortably with these finances, but I need to grow. Or like, let's say with a business, right? It's like you need more money in order to grow bigger, right? Otherwise, you're kind of just stuck with where you're at. You need to be able to have the capacity to grow. And so this pushes you into that growth state. It's also being represented here. They're showing the waters is like, look, this fish is jumping from here all the way towards the boat, but it's getting ahead of something, right? So it's like somehow, I'm saying somehow because it doesn't feel that you're fully aware of this. I'm not gonna say fully, it's like you're not aware of this at all. It's what you're doing naturally, and then in retrospect you will see, dang, I just did this, because it's you anticipating without anticipating. So this is, you're not really knowing you're doing this, you're anticipating something being easier for you, so you jump from where it's comfortable, but truly there's a sensation that you're getting, right? The ripples from this boat, right? The current from the boat you're jumping, and then when you jump in here, then you ride the waves of the boat, and it makes it easier to get to this destination that you're meant to be at next. But the trick here that they're pointing out is you wouldn't have been able to do that if you didn't time it properly. So it's like, let's say that it's in this cove, and how the natural state of the water is, you wouldn't be able to get to that cove without that ripple from the boat. So from you, it feels like this natural thing that you're doing. But in truth, what's happening is it brings me back to the turtle, it brings me back to the hare, it brings me back to the toddler. It's like you're operating from a higher sense of being that is allowing you to act ahead without any evidence. It's like, what is it? Walk by faith, not by sight. That's what you're doing here. You're walking by faith here and not by sight. But that's a separate message than the offer, interestingly enough, because to me, I don't know if I'm wording it that way, because to me it sounds like I'm saying, well, that's the offer. No, this is a physical offer that you're getting here. This is a physical offer. So this walk by faith, not by sight, and taking you into some bigger waters here seems to be either a separate message or it's connected, and you'll be able to see how it's connected once it unfolds. And in this, you're going to see how powerful your guides are. There's going to be some sort of physical reassurance. It's like, it's almost like, I don't know if this is really going to be it, but the example I'm getting is like, when this happens, you're going to realize the strength of your guides. Like, whoa, they literally like led me to this video, led me to watch this video, and then I see how perfectly it happened, right? Like I see it, and it somehow highlights how powerful they are, because the way that they're showing it in the cards for me is like both of these figures as your guides, and how they're open, but they're like out like this, so they're like giving energy to you, and they're also in a vulnerable state because they're so powerful that they aren't concerned with attacks, basically, right? Like they can be wide open because they're in such a powerful position. And then I'm seeing this as like a lightning conductor, like there's going to be lightning striking here, and it's like they just know what exactly to do in order to guide, right? And here it's like by the strength and the sign of him raising his cups, it has propelled you to jump. And it's like, geez, gosh, like they're so powerful. Step out of your comfort zone. It's time to take action. A new romantic cycle begins. Nothing's going to come in this situation. Your dreams need a practical plan. I saw show the world the real you at the bottom. I want one more. Well, show the world the real you. Okay. So, and then all of these fell out. So let me just look. The luck is on your side. Adjustments are required. Time to release negativity. Confidence is your key to success. Have faith in your dreams. Prosperity lies ahead. It's so funny because it's just these right here. That's why I put these up here, is because this is what felt so separate to me. It's like, if they need a practical plan and nothing's going to come of the situation, feels like negative thinking. So whether these are things that you feel, which I understand dreams needing a practical plan, but that brings me back to the original symbols with the iPod and all of that, where you didn't have a practical plan back then, right? You didn't need the practical plan. You were led by belief. You're led by faith. You're led by just that youthful glow. So you want to bring that glow back. You want to maintain that glow. Showing the world the real you. A new romantic cycle begins. Step out of your comfort zone. It's time to take action. A win-win outcome is forecast. Emotions are running high, and this is excitement. Those are exciting emotions here. And so really, your guides are saying, so they're showing me something about communication. And then I just split it and said, expect a powerful change. It's something about communication here. And then I just split it again because I don't know why I'm doing this. A win-win outcome is forecast. So it's just repetition again and again that I think the communication is showing the world the real you. And they keep, the reason why I keep stuttering this, because they keep showing me real world, the show Real World. So that might be significant for someone out there, or maybe this is supposed to be symbolic too, of like, you be like, eyes are on you, right? Like with the Real World, the show, it's like people were watching you. And this was like at a time when reality TV was like starting to be really new. So there's like a novelty aspect to it, and almost like a mysterious element, and then also like exclusivity. Like it's like, oh my gosh, like out of all the people in the world, and these people are in the real world, right? And they're doing all these crazy stuff, or they're living in this really nice place, or whatever, right? So it's this feeling of like, I'm watching you among others, and it's very interesting to me, and I want to know more, but I only get snippets of you because there's other people around, right? There's other things going on, but I want to know more about you. So you have a potential to branch off into, and then they flashed me like Lauren Conrad when she was in the OC, wasn't it Orange County, the OC, or Laguna Beach? I'm sorry, she was in Laguna Beach, and then now she's multi-millionaire. I don't think she's a billionaire yet, right? But it's like she branched off to do her own thing, right? And then they're just showing me things like that, and then they bring me back to the jeweler kind of example where you branch off, right? In this expansion, you branch off. So wherever you're at in life, however this makes sense for you, because I'm seeing a person among others. They're all very interesting people, right? And it's like this select amount of people who are doing some similar thing. But I really like you, and I really want to know more about you, and I really want to see like how you kind of evolve out of this, right? Like the more like unique imprint that you have. Let's see more of that. So just go with the flow. Basically is what your guys are saying. Like, it's, yeah, you're gonna take action, but this is what you're gonna feel, right? Like what we talked about, it's gonna come naturally for you, right? And you're not even gonna be aware that you're doing this. So basically, don't resist what you feel. Just continue to keep going forward with what feels right for you, and that's going to allow yourself to jump, right? Because if you keep resisting, is this feeling, it's like you feel in some way, you're not recognizing that you feel those vibrations of the boat coming, but you're going to resist it because it doesn't make sense to jump. You're like, I'm not going to jump. Oh, that's so, why would I do that? Like there could be a vulture or something up there, right? But if you just do it and it's like, something feels right, something feels weird, I'm gonna jump, and you jump, and then you get there, everything's gonna happen the way that we're talking about here, okay? So that's essentially what they're saying. Is like, don't talk yourself out of it by saying, I need more of a plan, I need more practicality set into this, I need to figure out exactly what I'm gonna do. And when you do that, it feels like you're betraying yourself, right? That's what it would feel like. Yes, it's good to be practical about things, but if you feel like you're betraying yourself about it, then don't limit yourself by doing that. Nothing will come out of the situation. Again, you're talking yourself out of something. You're seeing it as so far away. You're seeing it as bigger than what could make sense for you. It's something that's too far gone, so on and so forth. All these kinds of things that, like, that ain't nothing you need to worry about, okay? If it's meant for you, let it be for you. That's it. It's gonna come in the way it's supposed to come. So forget that. All the way. Oh, I dropped it. Anyway, yeah, just look, step out of your comfort zone. Perfect. Like, I mean, exactly. This is the same here. Look at that, right? Show the world the real you, and right here. And right, when I say right here, I don't even know what her really dress is. It feels like destiny. It feels like fate. And then they like pull me apart. And they're like, listen, like fate is this in some way, it's just kind of allowing the tide to take you. It's allowing the tide to take you. Destiny invites partially your initiative to play with what is being spoken to you, is like your guides lead you with your destiny, right? They can only guide you, they're not gonna force you, right? Destiny makes this happen. It's like fate makes you do things, right? Or makes things happen. It's like you are a victim of your circumstances, good or bad, kind of thing. So they're pulling me apart with that because they're saying both of those are in play here, fate and destiny. Fate, and then they bring me, gosh, what's that movie? It's like I don't know. And it has a guy that's like, I think it's Seth Green. I don't know. He's like short, redhead, and he's like super sketchy in real life. It's some teen movie from, I want to say like the early 2000s or something. And he says that at the end of the movie of like, fate will only take you so far or something like that, and then the rest is up to you, kind of thing. And that's what I'm seeing here. It's going to take you to a certain place, and then destiny switches in, and you have to take that initiative, which is going to feel right. It's going to feel right, but it's going to challenge your mind. It's going to challenge your mind, but you're going to feel like it's the right thing to do. So go with what feels right. All right, so that's your message today, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.